Young at Heart by Pam Young. A Magical Night. For Father's Day, our son gave us a gift certificate to Andina, a restaurant in Portland, Oregon. We used it last night. Because we'd never heard of the place, we had no expectations. Turns out it's rated as the best restaurant in Portland. Since we didn't make reservations, we felt lucky to get a table for two, even if it was in the bar, and squished in between two other tables for two. The place was crowded and bursting with gaiety. The aroma of good food was pleasant torture as we salivated over dishes being brought to various tables around us and tried to figure out the big menu in Peruvian. There were descriptions of the dishes in English, but they didn't really help that much. I chose atún con tacu y aguamanto, seared yellowfin tuna, sprinkled with black pepper and orange zest. I was tracking so far. Served with traditional lima bean tacu. I had to ask our waiter what tacu was, and he said it was smushed lima beans. No wonder they decided to go with the tacu verbiage. Orange wedges, endive spears, and salsa criolla. I figured the criolla part meant hot and spicy, and I was delightfully right about that. Drizzled with a Cape gooseberry aji amarillo sauce. I was impressed that the gooseberries came from some Cape, maybe cod or canaveral, and I was pretty sure amarillo was a liqueur I remember liking in my liqueur drinking days. The tuna was scrumptious, and the mashed up lima beans were close to addictive. Terry had seco a la nortina, an old family recipe, lamb shank slow-cooked in the northern Peruvian style in a rich cilantro black beer sauce, served with a classic guiso de frijoli, garlic rice, and salsa criolla. He ordered it because the woman next to him was eating it when we sat down, and he asked her what it was. She told him and said it was delicious, and she was so glad she'd ordered it after seeing it on the guy's plate next to her when she sat down. The couple on one side of us was on their first date since their baby was born. Joe and Beverly had left 9-month-old Ezekiel home with Grandma. They showed us photos of Ezekiel on Joe's cell phone. He was adorable. I truly expected the young couple's name to be something like Bai Nu and Vu Ling, because Joe is Korean and Beverly is Chinese. I've got to quit profiling. I should know better by now. After the woman who inspired Terry's entree choice left, a nice couple from Dallas took her place. The guy was Norwegian, and he asked Terry what he was eating and was inspired to order the seco a la nortina. Turned out there were 5 seco a la nortinas served in a row in the time we were there. I think it's because people are a little leery of fancy menus with words they don't understand, and seeing food on a plate that looks kind of familiar helps. The Norwegian man's name was Morton, and his lovely wife was Debbie. Morton works for American Airlines, and they had just flown to Portland for 24 hours on a whim. They told us they fell in love with the city, and they asked us an interesting question. What's the most extreme weather you have to endure in the Pacific Northwest? We had to think about that, because we really don't experience extreme weather. We figured they were maybe thinking about Portland as a place to retire, and we wanted to make sure they understood what they'd be in for. If you ever come to Portland on a night like last night, you could be tricked into thinking that's how it is all the time. Last night was a magical night. 72 degrees, light breeze, and lush green everywhere. But we Northwesterners have to pay for that green, and it's called rain, which comes in the form of drizzle, intermittent dripping showers that we slosh through, get soaked, sopped, and drenched in for about 6 months out of the year. Oh, but do we ever appreciate a night like last night? Adore who you are. Adore where you are. Adore who you're with.